Alrighty. Hello, this is for my professional orientation and development class. I'm going to be recording this and posting it so you guys can get a little bit of an example of what it looks like as a licensed professional counselor going through informed consent with a client. So I'm going to demonstrate that and role play, and you guys are going to be the client, right? And I'm going to be the therapist. I'm sitting in my office ready to go, and you're coming in for the very first session. So I'm going to role play usually how it looks from my end. Hey, I'm so happy that you're here today. My name is Hannah. As we discussed on the phone, I'm really excited to get to know you and to dive into your story, to hear more about what you're hoping to gain from this experience of counseling, and really what you're looking for, and to set goals together and go through all that good stuff. So even the not so good stuff, because sometimes we can talk about those things in therapy together. I promise I'm not going to be talking the whole time by any means, but I always love starting off our conversations, especially it being the first session, going over some of our policies and procedures. Not only is this something that I believe is ethical and really, really important so we both can have an understanding of what's going on here, but I'm also legally obligated to go over some of these things with you. So everything we talk about from here on out is completely and utterly confidential. I'm not secretly recording. Pause. If you are recording, this is something that you would share with the client, right? Obviously ahead of time. Unpause. I'm not recording anything. I'm not going to be sharing any type of identifiable information to anybody. And I would really only ever have to break confidentiality if it fell under three legal domains. The first being if you were at risk of harming self or others. Now, that's more than you saying, Hannah, sometimes I do have self harm thoughts. Sometimes I even have suicidal thoughts. It's something I work a lot with in therapy. And we understand that just because we have a thought, it doesn't necessarily mean we have the intention and that we're planning on doing something. It would have to be very specific and direct. Like you're coming to me saying, Hannah, I am going to hurt myself. I'm doing this now. And then we would intervene because safety is our number one priority. The next instance in which I'd have to break confidentiality would be if you knew of an older adult or a young child who was in harm's way. Just like your coaches and teachers were growing up as therapists and counselors were mandated reporters, so I would step in there. And then last but not least, if my records ever got subpoenaed by the court. Now, notice I said subpoenaed, not court ordered. There's a difference between the two. And so always want to make sure that I can be as transparent as possible starting off in therapy, because I know that you, my client, do the same in return. So please, if you ever have any questions along the way, feel free to let me know. I try to be as open as possible because that's where we do our best work. And so a few other things I want to highlight going over here in my client agreement and therapeutic policies with you. We do have a 24-hour cancellation policy. So if you just let us know a day in advance, we can certainly reschedule if needed. Now, we usually do allow an emergency cancellation because life happens. Sometimes we get sick or we don't always have the opportunity to cancel in advance. And so we do allow for one of those. But after that first one, we do charge up to 50% of what a normal session would be. So just something to be aware of. Sessions are 55 minutes long. We collect payment at the end. And my practice here, we're private pay. So we collect payment at the end of sessions together. And I'm really excited to go over the rest of the paperwork with you. Any questions? So something you also want to do, guys, is make sure you stop along the way and ask questions towards your clients. Now, that's a bit of my spiel. I like to lay it all out first and foremost in regards to confidentiality, because some clients, especially who have never had therapy before, they rarely are coming in with that question. They're like, what can I say? What can I not say? And I'm like, you can say anything you want. I would just have to share that information if it fell under these three domains. So those are legally the three big ones. But practice that speech. Sometimes with clients, I will go over the entire paperwork, but very rarely I send it out in advance. I get their initials on it, and then I go over the big stuff. So that's also something that can unfold in sessions, but you always want to hit on the big confidentiality, client expectations, therapeutic policies in that first session. So hope this video was helpful. Thanks, guys.